That's a good analogy because like yeah, Skarsgård in this, started this like, oh wow, these remakes can be really good.
Mhm.
And now with the images of the Crow, we know Skarsgård is going to be the death of remakes.
That's true. That's possible. Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're doing It Chapter 2. Now, I forced these on Jerry because he hadn't seen them. He probably wouldn't have seen them unless I did this. So I pulled rank after the Rob Zombie ordeal or the Rob Zombie dilemma and made him watch these movies. So we're
Right.
going to hop into it. Video store totals, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the kills, you can add like a handful more kills. There's still no nudity. The budget was 79 million for this one versus the 40 something for the original. And this one only made 473 back versus the 700 that the first one made back.
Hmm.
This one got mixed reviews. It was not people's favorite for some reason, and I don't know why. This movie is 2.5 hours plus of like an onslaught of horror movie. I don't understand what people's problem is. Like, I don't know. But let's get into it. Jerry. Oh, and yeah, obviously the same director, Andy Machete, comes back.
Hmm.
Jerry, what grade? Grade this.
I'm gonna go B. I'm
B.
gonna go B, a little
Okay.
lower this
Okay.
time.
Okay.
The first one I enjoyed.
Mhm.
The first one plays like a Tales from the Crypt,
Mhm.
like could be a Tales from the Crypt. This one feels more like Goosebumps. The story just kind of like, okay, they're trying to rediscover their, like they forgot everything when they left, and now they're having to remember everything kind of deal. That was okay, but like I said, that first part one, chapter one, it was just such a solid movie where like there was just all over the place. And then the end battle just felt kind of like it almost felt like kind of science fictiony to me. Um
It is science fiction.
I know he wrote a science fiction horror, like at least it wasn't
See,
like
this is
Spider
the
Spider.
this is the thing. All right, first of all, I'm gonna give it an A minus because it's not quite an A. I didn't get a
Uh-huh.
chance to grade it before we moved on. Uh, also, like, I think people keep expecting this like brutally horror movie.
Mhm.
It never was. And for the people that are like, oh, there should have been more blood guts, it should have been more of this. And I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but I
Mhm.
think that that's what people were expecting because the first one wasn't very like playful and wasn't
Mhm.
very whimsical, and this one kind of did that a little bit. I think people were expecting like, when you get a like Terrifier 1 versus Terrifier 2.
Right.
More blood, more gore, like I think that that's what people were wanting. And then they got this and they were like, "Whoa, this follows the story." This You got to remember these two movies are one
Right.
book. And
It's
it's
damned by the source material again,
well,
kind of deal.
I don't know that it's damned by the source material. I think they play at the fact that nobody liked the ending because they
Right.
keep making that joke in the movie. But this follows the story. This follows the book properly. And if you were a fan of the book, which I was, and you take out the N words and the kid gangbang, this is what's left, and this is good. The only thing you
Right.
don't see, like you see the deadlights, but you don't see the outer space and the cosmic turtle. They make reference to the turtle when Ben goes back to school, and there's the turtle on the desk and all
Yeah.
that. But they left certain aspects out. But overall, this they shot this movie and made it extra long to fill in gaps and get extra shots of these kids like as flashbacks essentially.
Right.
They came back and like digitally aged these kids,
Yeah, the
and
voices too.
yeah, the
Oh
voices are
man.
a little
like
off.
like
But
like yeah, when
again,
you don't
like,
have like the Lord of the Rings like budget being like, yeah, we're gonna shoot all three movies simultaneous, and you're looking at a bunch of kids, and some director needs to go, if we pause for a second, all of these kids are gonna fucking hit puberty, and this whole movie is gonna be up shit's creek
and
real
they
fucking
did.
quick.
They did. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a 2-3 year gap between these
Oh yeah.
movies. And most of the kids managed to stay within the realm of believability, but they had to like digitally change some of their faces, some of their voices to get these shots.
Right.
But I like that about this movie. Not that aspect, they didn't do a great job at that, but I like the fact that they went as far as to go,
Yeah.
no, we need to fill more in. Like like everybody married their mom. Like, the neurotic kid married his mom. Like Beverly marries an abusive man because her dad was abusive. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Because they
the
forgot all
story,
of that shit.
well, I don't think they forgot their childhoods, they forgot it. They
Yeah.
didn't they
It
didn't
just
forget that her dad was abusive. She
hmm
forgot that she fought a clown from outer space.
hmm
But like all of those things were well done. Like it was well written, and the source material is well written, and it brings it all back around, reminds you everything. I think that maybe you fell victim to seeing them back to back. Like you saw the
Probably where
first
I
one.
didn't have enough gap to go. I don't even remember what
Exactly.
happened in the first one. So
Right, right,
let's
right.
go.
But
Let's
they
go.
also didn't just recap the first one. They added more to the first one. Like you never
Right.
saw the clubhouse, which was in the book. You never saw the
Right.
clubhouse in the first one. So that's another look. Like after they fought it.
Time to load.
Fuck Richie.
Dude, remember you used to say that shit? You do that little dance.
They
hmm
had the clubhouse. You know what I mean? Like it just added more story to the first one
All right, just trying to add some levity to this shit. I'll go fuck myself.
while giving you the second one. And I think that that's really good. It shows you the in between time.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, people had really mixed reviews on this, and I don't get why people were so discouraged about this one.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed was like heavy use for the CGI got silly.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
in certain like naked grandma Google tits
Yeah.
fucking coming out, I was laughing. And like in the first one, I didn't laugh at it or what it like showed. I thought
Uh,
there were like in the first one, there were really like just creepy moments with the clown. In this one, some of the things that were kind of like the leopard for some reason got more leopardy and way more frisky. Like like with the
uh,
tongue,
yeah.
the blah, 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 tongue and like you take that like scary moment with the leopard and the little kid. That could be creepy to a kid.
Leper.
Leopard, it's the same things.
Okay. Yeah.
They both got spots, right?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. But another thing I noticed was like okay, so he gets the in this one the leper vomits shit on
Mhm.
him and he's leaving the store and instead of like this like horrifying moment, they ended in a joke.
All right, just trying to add some levity to this shit. I'll go fuck myself.
Like push, not pull, and like
But
It
even
was
when the
silly.
leper is vomiting on him, they're playing like that
Mm,
hilarious song. See,
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I thought it was funny because there was also funny parts in the first one, but
right.
they just pushed them. They just did it a little bit more in this one, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, why would a horror movie ever be funny?" The Burbs, Idle Hands,
Not
Shaun of
well,
the
yeah,
Dead,
but is this
any of
supposed
these
to be
fucking.
legit horror or is this supposed to be
It's
comedy?
supposed to be a movie.
Well, I
Like, it
understand
doesn't
that, but
fucking matter. Like,
I
it
understand
doesn't
that.
matter. There's funny bits in tons of real serious horror movies. Like, Ash wasn't, like, Evil Dead wasn't a comedy at
Yeah,
first. Nightmare on Elm Streets weren't comedy at first. They just had a little shot of comedy in them,
yeah.
and that's what this one did, and everybody got butthurt about it. And I don't get it. It's like they forgot what horror is and does. And
Mhm.
it's like, whoa, whoa, we're here to be entertained and have fun. Did you do that? Yeah, then shut the fuck up. Like, why are you complaining? Like,
Right.
I don't know. And I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm
No,
just saying, like, I've seen so many people be like, this one's a piece of shit. And I'm like, how? They
it's
nailed it. Like, I don't get it. And
well,
this is like
yeah, I
the
understand
age.
that because you've read the book. I think
Yeah.
that's the big downfall is
Yeah.
that you've read the source material, you've read the book, and you can say, yeah, everything minus some scenes
Right.
is here that should be on the screen.
Right.
Therefore, good job, good job. But a person who hasn't is just sitting there going, what the fuck? When did it become a spider?
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of like mentality. We're talking
Well, I
about like,
think that we need to remember that Pennywise isn't Pennywise the clown. Pennywise is
a,
fear.
yeah, a galactic spider from
Well, he's
Xenarth
well,
or wherever.
he's he's a galactic being, but he's fear.
Right,
So whatever you fear is what he's going to show you.
right.
So every time he's in a weird format that's not the clown, everybody's like, "What the hell, man?" It's like, no,
Yeah.
he's fear. If he's a spider, that's scary to somebody. So he's playing on their fear.
All
Like,
I can
what?
think of
Like,
now is just Stephen King when he's writing, when he's getting to that, like,
mm,
what is this? He's just coked out of his brains,
of course,
paranoid, keep checking the window,
yeah,
fucking like going back to the typewriter. Where was I? Okay, no, just keep going.
yeah.
Just keep going. I got a thought. Keep
At
going.
that time in the world, fucking Stephen King was taking cocaine and slapping it in his hands and doing the LeBron
Yeah.
James and just throwing it in the air and
Fucking
just like
I can
into
just
the
think of,
air and
yeah,
fucking, yeah. I
like a
mean, like,
big table of fucking like, gotta get this
yeah,
shit done.
yeah, Scarface
Fucking
cocaine.
yeah.
Like, if somebody goes to see the movie and goes, "What the fuck is with this?" Like, you're missing the point of the movie. Was it
Right.
entertaining? Was the little bug with the baby face going, meh? Like, was that hilarious? Yes. Is it terrifying? Probably somebody had nightmares about that shit. The eyeball crawling across the table, like, those are all fears that people have. Like, that's nightmare fuel. Whether it looked silly or not because of the CGI, that's
Right.
fine. But it's still it's still good because it did what it was supposed to do.
Right. It's
So
the lions in the hedge made maze,
we'll get there, people. Just we'll
you
get
know.
there.
It is because like a director can go, okay, no, I'm shooting source material. I'm being faithful to it. A la this,
Yeah.
minus the couple of scenes and couple of like details, except for nods or Kubrick, De Palma, John
Mhm.
Carpenter, who says Stephen King has like good ideas, but I'm not putting that whole goddamn fucking like
Yeah.
4,000 page novel
Hmm.
in like an hour movie,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
Christine,
And I
Carrie,
think that that's
Shining. Yeah,
also where this movie succeeded, was because they didn't try to shove it into one movie.
right.
They made it two movies. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that the comedy bits were funny. I think that
Right.
Bill Hader like really showed he like flexed his acting skills all the way across by
Mhm.
showing he's not just a funny guy.
Right.
Like he can do the funny, but he can do the serious. And I love Bill Hader, so that was impressive. Like you said, Eddie, I think he makes the best transition from kid to adult.
Yeah.
But what I was going to tell you was when he walks into the pharmacy and he's walking up to the counter and there's that guy like standing there staring at the box like this weirdly in the background, that's the director.
Nah.
Yeah, that was like his
Yeah.
cameo in his own movie.
Yeah, there you go. And then Stephen King's cameo in
Yeah.
this and shit.
Yeah. I didn't like
Fucking
the ending. Like, no,
yeah.
nobody liked your
No
fucking ending.
one, yeah. No one like
Nobody was a
never
fan of the kid gangbang, you retard,
fucking
or you
right.
idiot.
Or yeah, or fuck.
The mass
Maximum
murder.
Overdrive. Yeah, no one liked the ending to that either.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
fucking
Nobody liked the ending to most of your fucking
Pet
shit.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you be a hell of a short story writer, motherfucker. Quit writing goddamn novels.
You know what they should do? Stephen King should get with Rob Zombie and they should work together to make
No,
either the
no,
greatest
the,
movie or the
no, they
worst
won't.
movie.
They would argue the whole time and fucking like
Nah, Stephen King's too old. As long as Rob Zombie is left leaning
yeah,
politically and doesn't
yeah.
burn cocaine, then they're good to go.
And I'll tell you about the googly titty grandma. It wasn't even like I didn't start laughing when she ran out of the kitchen
Because
and
that's
like,
actually kind of scary.
meh. But what I really started laughing was like when she kept peeking over like and there was the one part where she's doing like a little jig.
Mhm.
I don't know. I know she's trying
That's
to do like
yeah,
that, like what the fuck's that old lady back there doing? But the only time I found her truly like creepy was when she's sitting there talking and she
just
stops
staring.
talking.
Really dies. But you
And
Yeah.
staring. And it's like, okay, that's good. Is there going to be something in the tea? Because I ain't ever drinking something that I'm offered that I'm not
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
you know? Um, I did like, and there wasn't very many scenes. Right before she goes to, Bev goes to her father's house, she sees herself and fucking the stutter
Yeah.
ride by on her bike. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
that's great. Give me like scenes like that where and they had a couple in there that
Yeah.
were like really good. Um, I don't remember. Is it Pat McAvoy? Dave McAvoy?
Who the fuck? Who? Which
Stutterer.
kid? That's
The
Ian McGregor.
was it Ian McGregor?
Yeah.
No, Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan. That's
Okay.
McAvoy.
Okay. So let me just double check.
The Pat?
Is it Pat McAvoy? James McAvoy.
James McAvoy. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I knew it
I've
was
been
Professor
calling him fucking Ian
Ewan
McGregor for
McGregor.
fucking
Fucking, you're like
whatever, dude.
you're doing your Tommy Lee Jones's gay bit there.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like
Exactly.
Ewan McGregor and fucking It. I don't think he's in there. No, he's in there. He's like one of the main characters. I watched that movie like 4 times. I've never seen him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right there. But so anyway, when Ewan McGregor starts freaking out at the kid,
So
okay,
we're gonna stick with Ian McGregor. All
sure,
right,
why
cool.
not? Fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe he'll do a complete like 360 and just keep it's Ewan McGregor. But when like he starts, I understand freaking out at the kid
Mhm.
when he's next to, but then when they go to the fair and he's freaking out and like I don't know, was there a moment that said the town is going sour? Because I thought the murder of the two gay guys at the beginning, or the one gay guy at the beginning, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like it
I
just felt
think that was just
like, is the
setting
town
up.
going bad? I mean,
So
I know it's
that
in Maine and everybody in Maine's fucking crazy.
all right. So that murder is in the beginning of the book.
Okay.
That is setting the tone of what kind of town Derry was.
Like
Why they put it,
homophobic and
yeah, like just podunk, homophobic, Bowers type.
I
Uh,
know.
but for some reason they put it at the beginning of the second movie.
Right.
I don't know why necessarily, but I think it was a really good scene to set up like your show like it, and again, if it was in the beginning of the first one, it would have made more sense because it does set up this is what dairy is, this is what dairy still is. I
Right.
think that that's kind of what it does, is like dairy hasn't changed.
Okay.
Dairy is still this shitty fucking place,
Yeah.
but that's how they kick off, the clown coming back or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, there were just like moments because at first I thought that was um the the hypochondriac kid, you know. I
Oh,
thought that
Eddie.
was him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh wow, starting this off cuz that's kind of crazy. They're starting him off because usually it's the other movie started off with Suicide Guy.
Mhm.
And but well, like then once the movie goes on, and I'm just like, what was that whole fucking beginning? Are they just saying that like Derry's just a shitty fucking place to be and
Yeah.
stuff? And
Yeah,
so
yeah. i
yeah, I
think
guess
i
so.
think yeah. So the one of the scenes that I really did like, only for a brief second, but I think it's a good scene, and it works well in the movie, is the girl with the birthmark. Like she's at the baseball game with her mom. It's
Oh,
another
okay.
random scene that it's just kind of like, what? It feels shoved in there, but it's a good scene, and I see why they shoved it in there. Because she follows the little lightning bug down,
Mhm.
and but when she gets up to follow the lightning bug, it's playing this Disney like whimsical music, like Land Before Time or something, like this
Right.
adventurous, like sweet Bambi style music. And then it immediately, as soon as she drops down, the music changes to like a darker tone. And then
Right.
you see him lit up like with the firefly. All that shit was fucking good.
Yeah.
Like that was good storytelling. That was good writing. It was good, like just showing how
Well,
Pennywise
direction.
works.
Yeah.
Um,
Just the direction of it and the
mhm.
concept. Yeah, it's good. There are moments like that in this that are really good, where it's it's storytelling without dialogue. It's just seeing a scene play out. Very simple scene, just to let you know what's happening, you know. And
Yeah.
I think the director does a good job at that.
Yeah. There was the one scene that I forgot completely existed. And I was like, wait, do I have a special edition? Is when Hattie McHaha, Jessica Chastain, comes out of the apartment and she's at the door to the building trying to get out. And they show Bill Skarsgård like putting the paint on and like scratching his face and like
Mhm.
I didn't remember that at all. Like all I remember was her in the apartment, her leaving the apartment and seeing that the apartment was condemned.
Right.
I don't remember any of that shit with him. And I was like, huh? Holy shit. I don't, all right, cool. Whatever. I mean, it was a good scene, but you
Yeah.
know,
I thought it was like, oh, are they gonna play into what Pennywise or the clown Pennywise was before he was a spider?
right.
Like, oh, what was the clown? What was this? You know, oh, what did he go crazy? Because they showed like a picture of him
Mhm,
like when he was just a dad,
mhm,
you know. And I was like, oh cool, that'd be good for her story, you know, daughter and the dad and shit, you
mhm.
know. But yeah, kind of one off good scene, but no future.
Yeah.
We got to talk about indigenous artifacts from outer space.
Yeah. Also, uh, they, I think it's kind of funny the way they played. It was like they were playing this subtle joke the entire time, or not joke, but like this subtle, like mystery where like you're clearly learning Richie's gay and that he's hiding that he's gay, but you don't know who he was gay for or with, because when he goes to the bridge and and you see like as a kid and you see him carving in there,
Oh,
he
I
carves
thought
the
they were just
R,
like friends. Plus,
he carves the R and then the plus, and then you don't see what letter is afterwards. So the entire movie you think it's Stan because of like how broken up over Stan he is. And then at the end you see that it was Eddie the whole time.
yeah,
They were blowing each other. Um and but yeah.
intervention. But no,
Intervention.
I thought it was a great send off too. Like
Yeah.
good, just like
Yeah.
if that's what they were implying, that's good. If they're just implying that, like,
Well, I think that that's what they
my best
were.
friend,
No,
it's
they
so
were
great.
implying gay because that's what Paul Bunyan is saying, or that's what it is saying. He's like, you don't want me to tell everybody your secret, do you?
Wouldn't want anyone to know what you're hiding.
And
No,
then they're playing on like whoa, we can play one more game. What are you doing, queer or whatever they say?
okay.
And then at the end you
Yeah, I
realize
didn't.
like they were 69 blowing each
Yeah, the
other.
whole time I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is Paul Bunyan doing? I thought that was out in Minnesota. Fucking like, look at here in Derby.
Wow.
We're so this place is so
Jesus.
stupid. We put Paul Bunyan up, who's a Minnesota thing, but we have him here. And yes, before anybody plays a comment, yeah, I know there's places in Maine that says birthplace of Paul Bunyan. And then a bunch of fucking Minnesotans go, no, Paul Bunyan was born out here in Minnesota. Fucking, I don't give a shit. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah.
fucking
There.
Paul Bunyan? Like, really? Fucking Paul Bunyan?
So, any closing final thoughts on this movie?
No, no.
Okay.
Together, it's fine. It's a good movie. Thank you for letting me watch it. It's like, okay, cool. I got that one under my belt. Do I feel robbed for missing it in the theaters or anything like that? No. Because in the long run, the big, like, the big notion is that I'm not a big fan of Pennywise or it
Mm.
altogether. Tim Curry was great in the 90s version movie. The kids are better in this. Like if I had to
It's
choose,
hard to pull off a movie with kids as a solid
right,
acting job, and all those kids did a great job.
right. I mean, yeah, you just like the Tim Curry and the kids in this one. That's really what I took out of it. Leave everything else kind of like it's just I get the story, then that's the problem with a lot of like Stephen King things that I've come up with. It's like Pet Cemetery's cool up until like 45 minutes and then I'm just like, I'm bored.
I think with a lot of his writing, it works on paper, but it doesn't work in
I will
practicality.
agree with that statement.
And yeah, so it gets a little convoluted. I don't know.
Right.
I liked it. I thought it was good. If they
Good.
ever do put out that 7 hour cut where it's one and two with a through line, which I feel like that's kind of what they started to do with the second one, was like they started building the in between,
Right.
and then they were like, no, let's just make it its own movie. But
Right.
if they ever did, I would gladly watch it because
Cool.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie to watch.
Cool, man. Yeah. I just my final thoughts is yeah, it's still better than the 90s version. Those
Yeah,
made for TV 90s movies anyway are kind of bland, so at least
I
they could
also,
do more.
that's
So,
true. I also think that this is like the birth of a solid remake. Like the especially it chapter one, like the remake idea of
mm,
it, like having a solid remake. I think that this is like where it starts. I mean, we know Dawn of the Dead, that one, but even that doesn't compare to how well they redid the first It.
Yeah, that's a good analogy because like yeah, Skarsgård in this, started this like, oh wow, these remakes can be really good.
Mhm.
And now with the images of the Crow, we know Skarsgård is going to be the death of remakes.
That's true. That's possible.